Here we are, past tense. Because past tense makes your story feel too distant? Nah. In reality, past tense can pull your readers right into the action with just as much urgency as present tense. Because imagine this. He darted into the alley, his heart pounding as footsteps echoed behind him. He barely had time to catch his breath before a shadow moved across the wall. See how that feels immediate, even though it's in the past? Ha ha! Today, I'm going to show you, how to use past tense to create vivid, engaging narratives. That's what we're going to do. What do you mean, Thomas? What do you mean? What do I mean? We're going to be writing in past tense techniques for immersive storytelling. So, what is past tense? Well, past tense is the most common tense used in novels, but some writers fear its lack of intimacy. The truth is, past tense can be just as engaging as present tense when used effectively. I know I like using past tense, and you usually find it in epic fantasies. You know what I'm saying? It's not uncommon for writers to worry that using past tense. Whew, I'll repeat that. It's not uncommon for writers to worry that using past tense will make their story feel like a distant recollection rather than an immersive experience. This concern often stems from the misconception that past tense automatically puts a layer of separation between the reader and the action. However, past tense can be just as engaging and immediate as present tense if approached with the right techniques. The key lies in focusing on sensory details and active verbs to create a sense of urgency and presence. I'll say this: when writing in past tense, you're not limited to just recounting events. By immersing your reader in your character's sensory experiences, what they see, hear, feel, and even smell, you create a vivid, in the moment narrative. For example, instead of simply saying, she walked through the forest, you might say, she pushed through the dense foliage, yet skin prickling as cold mist clung to her arms. Notice how the sensory details and active verbs bring the scene to life, making the reader feel as though they're right there with the character. Okay. Another important element is to maintain momentum with active verbs. This is also known as movement. You hear me say it all, movement. A form of movement is that the narrative is moving forward, the characters are moving forward, the experience is moving forward, and it's not just stalled or stalled with description or statements of what is happening. So this important element is like words like darted, grasped, shuddered. Convey action and emotion, making the past tense feel dynamic rather than static. Right? He walked across the room. No, he darted towards the door, or he darted through the door. He darted. Anyway, even though the events have technically already happened because it's past tense, this combination of sensory detail and active verbs makes the experience feel immediate, as though the reader is witnessing it unfold in real time. By embracing these techniques, you can pretty much take past tense and make it something more than just what types of past tense. All right, in past tense, you typically use simple past, past perfect, and past continuous. All right. Well, what is that? Well, let's go into it. Boop. Tom, I don't know. I can't see. Let's do it. Boop, 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 boop. There you go, right on the screen. Okay. Simple past, she walked. Past perfect, she had walked. Past continuous, she was walking. Ooh, she was walking. She walked. Thomas walked. Thomas had walked. All right. So Thomas walked is past tense, but Thomas had walked is that he had already done it. And of course, Thomas was walking is in process, right? So you're saying, but what are they, Thomas? Well, that's a great question. Simple past describes actions that were completed at a specific time in the past. Okay. Let's see. Isn't it? No. So, simple past descriptions, actions that were completed. If you use, for example, simple past might be she walked to the store, right? So she walked to the store. Okay. Past perfect indicates an action that was completed before another action in the past. I know it sounds crazy, but it often uses had and is used to clarify sequence. She had already left when he arrived, meaning she was gone when he arrived. Okay. And then, of course, past continuous, all right, describes actions that were ongoing at a particular moment in the past. Okay. So this is this is where was were. So she was, let's say, walking to the store when it started to rain. Am I the only one who talks when he writes? Sometimes I'm quiet, but like when I'm teaching, I don't know. Something I learned. I've always been like that actually. When I teach classes at my old theater, I'd always be like, "Hey, wait," and I would write on the board. You can't see me. I'm acting as if you could see me. I'd be like, "Yeah, anyway, so this is she walked to the store," and I would write it as I. But I think it helps. I like. I don't know if you do this, but sometimes when I'm listening to an audiobook, I'll actually read the book along with it. It helps me understand it better, and it gives me a better access to the lexicon. It gives me a way to kind of like see the words because my dyslexia. You guys don't care about this. Let's keep it going. What are you doing, Thomas? Keep it going. All right. When might a writer use them? All right. Simple past. Let's just open it up. Simple past. A writer would use simple past to describe an event that occurred and finished in the past, moving the story forward in a sequence. I'll repeat that. A writer would use simple past to describe events that occurred and finished in the past, moving the story forward in sequence. She opened the door. She opened the door. Okay. Past perfect. A writer would use past perfect to show that one event happened before another past event, providing context or background in a series of events. So he realized she had already left, indicating her departure occurred before his realization. All right. Past continuous. A writer would use past continuous to describe an action that was happening at a specific moment in the past, often alongside another action. This tense is useful for setting the scene or showing actions interpreted by other events, like she was reading when the phone rang. All right. Okay. So let's do bloop. Let's do a real time example. So what I'll do first is I'll actually write it in. Should I do it in present tense and then just nah? We'll just do. How about we just write it in past tense and then we'll go over it. We'll just go over it. All right. Let's see. Let's create a scene. Let's use the she. Let's keep the she. Think she. Let's store. Let's see. Let's see what we could do. She stepped into the crowded room, her heart racing as dozens of eyes turned her way. The air felt like, oh, we're gonna change that. I know. I hate when I even do that. Felt. All right, felt is a filler word. Whatever. This is what had. This is the. Where am I? This is the problem with writing, right? When you do train of thought or you just get the thoughts out there, just get it out. So instead of stopping the edit in real time, let's just write it and then take it from there, okay? All right. The air felt thick. Let's see. Let's give some personification to the air. So the air felt thick with Anticipation pressing, against her chest. Christine, we'll give her a name. Forced to smile, hoping didn't look as nervous as she felt. Let's see. Let's add some more scary to this. Somewhere in the back, what? A door slammed shut, and she flinched. Flinched. Scanning the crowd, because remember it's crowd, for any sign of familiar faces. Bitch. Let's see. Mm. But it was just strangers. Strangers in the night, all watching her, waiting in the night. She had taken a deep breath. Oh, Jesus. Don't do that before stepping onto the stage. Yeah, her hands trembled, clutching the microphone, and the moment stretched out, suspended as she cleared her throat and began to speakage. All right. She stepped into the crowded room, her heart racing as dozens of eyes turned her way. The air felt thick with anticipation, pressing against her chest. Christine forced a smile, hoping it didn't look as nervous as she did. One where. All right. Couple things. Boop. The air felt thick. I don't. Maybe that's not a filter word. Maybe I don't think that's a filter word. I think that's actually. I think that works. Yeah. Because it's describing. It's describing. It's okay. She stepped into the crowded room, her heart racing as dozens of eyes turned her way. The air felt thick with anticipation, pressing against her chest. Christine forced a smile, hoping it didn't look as nervous as she felt. Somewhere in the back, a door slammed shut, and she flinched, scanning the crowd for any sign of familiar faces. But it was just strangers, all watching her, waiting, and she had taken a deep breath before stepping onto a stage. Her hands trembled, clutching the microphone, and the moment stretched out, suspended, as she cleared her throat and began to speak. That's not bad. Stepped onto the stage. Yeah, I guess because that's more the stage. So, what would simple past be in this? It would be let's see, step definitely. She stepped, right? Because we go, she walked to the store. She stepped into the crowded room, right? Her heart blank, blank, blank. And let's see what else. Her heart racing as dozens of eyes turned her way, right? The air felt thick with anticipation pressing against her chest. Christine forced a smile. Oh, 1 second. So this is simple past. Hoping nervous as she felt. Somewhere in the back, a door slammed. Oh, slammed is definitely. And she flinched. Ooh, flinched. She flinched, scanning the crowd for any sign of him. But it was just. Ew. No. All watching her, waiting. She had taken a deep breath before stepping out into the stage. Her hands trembled. Right. And then, let's see, clutching the microphone and the moment stretched out. I would even say suspended as she cleared her throat. Let me just take another look at her. The air felt. The back shot scanning crowd. Ba-do. She had taken a deep breath. All right, there you go. All right, so let's do this. Boop. Boop. All right, now let's do past perfect. Oh my God, Thomas. Gotta do capitals. Past perfect. I'm gonna make this color. Let's make this blue. Blue da be dee be da do. Past perfect. Now, if we look at past perfect, he realized she had already, right? She had already left when he arrived. Past perfect. She had right? She had all right. So let's see. She stepped into the thing. Her heart was racing. The air felt thick with an impatient. Christina forced a smile. She had somewhere in the back. The colors, but was it falling? She had taken a deep breath. Before stepping. I think that's it. Ding, 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 ding. Right. Let me get rid of one. Boop. All right, there you go. Okay, is that the only one? Her hands, microphone. Yeah. All right, now we're gonna do past continuous. But Thomas, let's make that green. All right, boop, past. Now, past continuous is she was walking to the store when it started to rain. She was reading when the right, so it's has that inging. The act of, right? So, let's see. Her heart racing. As dozens of eyes. The air felt thick with anticipation. Pressing. Ooh, pressing. I feel like I'm in school again. This is nice. Against the chest. Hoping. Scanning. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm scanning. All right. What else? Oh. Watching. Look at that. There's a lot of use in this, right? And wait. Oh, I would say her waiting. Waiting is waiting. Yeah, waiting is. All right, our hands. Oh, clutching. Yeah. So there you go, clutching. So there you go. So we have simple past. Whoop, sorry. We have simple past, right? Past perfect and past continuous. Look at that. It's filled with them. So that's why it has movement. It has a lot of movement to it. Movement, right? She stepped in, and it's filled with intimacy, and she stepped into the crowded room, her heart racing as dozens of eyes turned her way. The air felt thick with anticipation, pressing against her chest. Christine forced a smile, hoping it didn't look as nervous as she felt. Somewhere in the back, I used felt twice. Nervous. She felt the air. Thick with anticipation. I can just do that. Yeah, the air thick with anticipation. Oh, but then this changes. Pressed against her chest. This turns into a simple past. I like that better, though. The air, thick with anticipation, pressed against her chest. Yeah. Yeah. All right, anyway. All right, so final thoughts. Boom. Ooh, I kind of like doing those. I like doing the real time stuff. All right, past tense is more than just grammatical choice. It's a versatile tool that, when wielded the right way, can shape the way your readers experience your story. You have to remember that knowing and understanding are not the same thing. Knowing and understanding are not the same thing. You have to take the time to practice using past tense correctly and where and how to adjust it. The more you take the time to practice it, the better past tense will be available for you to build out your narratives, not only with vivid presentation, but also to feel immediate and alive, pulling readers in to each moment. Now, remember, you don't have to practice only when you write. So it's okay to do what I just did. I'm 46 years old. And every time I do things like this, especially for this channel, I'm rediscovering an understanding to it. When I used to teach at the theater, or whenever I taught like people in general, just for like because I do consulting as well. I do developmental editing, so I help out with outlines. I do consulting for careers, right? Things like that. Every time I am presented with a new case, a new person, a new situation, it allows me to sort of deep dive into the thing again and find better and simplify the ways to explain it, right? The layman's version, right? If you can't explain something simply, you don't understand it enough, right? So I'm always trying to break down what I learn to something small. And that's why knowing something is not the same as understanding it. And us as writers have to remember it's okay to take some time to put the work in. It's all right to create and write something like this, right? And then go through it and be like, oh, am I using simple past perfect, and past continuous correctly? I know this might take a long time in a full novel, but as a practice, as a skill or an exercise, it allows you to sort of look at it and say, all right, just like I just did. I even changed this sentence, right? So I noticed that I wrote felt twice. Um, so it gives you a chance to also break up sentences, right? So even just looking at this, I mean, the fluidity of this one, I think this came out. She stepped into the crowded room, her heart racing as dozens of eyes turned her way. That's important because it's just one fluid motion, right? Now we have another movement, the air, thick with anticipation, pressed against her chest. And you're thinking, so this is a change in length of sentences. So even this exercise is giving me a sense. That's why practice is so important, even when we're not writing. Christine forced a smile, hoping now. So this is a motivation, right? Well, this is an action. Christine forced a smile, and then this is her motivation, hoping it didn't, right? So now we know why she forced that smile. So that's an interesting choice to well, I'm saying I know it's my own writing, but I'm just trying to give like an observation to how we should look, because like if you're line editing, right? Like, so I developmental ed, I do line editing, right? You're looking at the movement in each thing. What's happening? She stepped into the crowded room, her heart racing as dozens. So this is a cause and effect. She stepped into a crowded room. What did that do to her? Well, it caused her heart to race as dozens of eyes turned her way. Now, in a rewrite, I'd probably try to figure out how to get rid of as, but it's okay to have as in there sometimes. Like as. You read many, many successful books. There's as, was, the, likely, ly words. So don't use ly words. Then this creates atmosphere, the air thick with anticipation, pressed against her chest. All right, that's atmosphere. Now it's another movement of a sentence. Christine forced a smile. Why? Well, she was hoping it didn't look as nervous as she felt. Somewhere in the back, a door slammed shut and she flinched, scanning the crowd for a sign. So this is a long sentence, but it is longer and is another variation, and it's creating movement. Somewhere in the back, okay, a door slammed shut. Well, that's immersive, right? And she flinched. Reactive, cause and effect. Another cause and effect, because she flinched and heard the noise. She's basically scanning the crowd for any sign of a familiar face. But it was just strangers, all watching her, waiting. So this creates a reality. What did she observe, and how did she respond to that observation with new information? She had taken a deep breath before stepping onto the stage. So this is a movement for her. This is a choice. Her hands trembled. we're describing her where that's an action or a response to the situation, clutching the microphone and the moment stretched out. This is creating atmosphere and tone suspended as she cleared her throat and began speaking. So it's always good to just practice. You don't have to sit there and just write out full books and then go through it. Like you could work on little bits and say, oh, and it helps you learn and orchestrate your skill level. And you're able to take what you know, and now you're painting with reds, blues, and greens. Your primaries are 3 colors, but you can make 9 colors right off the bat. I mean, some of the colors make black, some make white, some make pink, some make right yellow, whatever the case may be. But you can make orange, you can make purple, right? So the more writing tools you spend time practicing and understanding and experimenting with, the stronger you'll have a skill at writing in general. With practicing, in general, you'll discover how to use past tense to create tension, convey emotions, and paint scenes that linger in the minds of your audience. Basically, with the example I showed you, I was creating tension, I was creating atmosphere, I was creating emotional movement, conveying the emotional movement, and I was painting the scene. All right. And also, there was a sense of mystery because, like, what is she doing? Where is she at? And at the end, we realize she's about to walk on the stage and do a speech, right? So choosing the right tense is a fundamental part of developing your unique writer's voice. Believe it or not everybody is comfortable writing in past tense or present tense or whatever the case may be. So these exercises also help you decide what feels more comfortable. One of my best friends, who's an author, she loves writing in present tense. And it's just something she's always felt comfortable with. She just likes feeling in the moment. Has said many a times that writing in past tense makes her feel, as I stated in the beginning, distant from the moment. So she likes being there with the characters. I like writing in past tense. To me, it feels not necessarily present in the sense of present tense, but I like the fluidity of words together, and my brain enjoys the taste of that movement, that she stepped into the crowded room, her heart racing as dozens of eyes turned her way. It just feels so natural to me, and that's what you're trying to find. Does it feel natural to you? It's something to keep in mind. Next video in this series, speaking of, we're going to talk about present tense in novels. So we're basically going to do the same thing. We're going to explore the present tense, and then we're going to write out something in present tense. Okay. With that said, question: what's your favorite novel written in past tense? How do the authors create a sense of immediacy? Share your thoughts and comments. What do you like about past tense if you yourself write in past tense? I'd love to know that too. All right. Did you like what you saw today? I hope so. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out. And thumbs up if you can. It's 3 little buttons. Okay. That's what we say here. That's what we say. As always, peace and harmony, truth in action, and keep developing the right mindset. I'll see you next time. Bye.